The European Commission and the High Representative for Foreign Affairs, Baroness Ashton, have applauded the courage of the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who took to the streets in Tunisia, in Egypt, to overthrow their dictatorial governments. What they have not done is applauded the courage of the hundreds of thousands of people who once again have taken to the streets in Tehran and all of the major cities in Iran last Monday in protest against probably the most oppressive and brutal regime in the world. The mullah-led fascist Islamic fundamentalist regime in Iran is brutally oppressive. It was a rather ironic fallacy that we had a statement from Ayatollah Khamenei, the great leader apparently of Iran, who congratulated the people on their uprisings in Tunisia and Egypt, and then crushed the uprising that took place last Monday in Iran. This is hypocrisy writ large. In fact, people were not only killed on the streets of Tehran, many were injured, hundreds were arrested, and these people will now face torture and inevitably execution at the hands of the brutal mullah-led regime. It's time we stopped the appeasement policy in Europe. Europe and the West have fallen into a sort of torpor when it comes to Iran. We're like rabbits blinded by the headlights. We seem unable to move while Iran busies itself building nuclear weapons, which will destabilize not only the whole of the Middle East, but will cause a threat to global security. And yet we continue to appease the mullahs. We say nothing to criticize or condemn the brutal crushing of the uprising there. It is a horrible fact now that young people, before they take to the streets to protest in the main cities in Iran, leave their wills on Facebook. I mean, this is a sad case, and it's time the European Parliament really took action. It's time the European institutions closed off all channels of communication with Iran, stopped the visas of all people connected to the Iranian regime, to stop them traveling to European countries, and indeed make sure that nobody is conducting any commercial contracts with any of the companies inside Iran that are owned by the Revolutionary Guard, which is, you know, the modern day equivalent of the Gestapo. So really it's time we started, instead of a policy, a failed policy of appeasement, we should have a policy of zero tolerance.